Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 19 of the Gym Tang 30-day challenge. It's getting sad. Uh, I've not only been having those feelings of like, I wonder if I'm gonna run out of things to talk about. Like, I've been making new segments every time I see the emo come out, basically, and I'm like, wow. I don't know if I'm so much as building a brand or more just making rants or an emotional outlet, but it's a sad thought that only that my summer is ending. I realized that very quickly, especially after yesterday. I'm like, oh wow, like my big job, like my bulk job is over, and now I'm doing just summer camps and just writing out the rest of my time at my math tutoring gig, and I'm probably gonna quit going into like my school year. And we're starting stuff new for the clubs, and my research is just not moving, but it's getting closer to over. And that's a lot of things that I've been working on this summer. I'm past the halfway point, including this challenge. Right, we're on day 19, so we're almost to the final stretch. Those final 10 days starting tomorrow, and it's a sad thought. I think it's a genuinely sad feeling that, oh wow, I've actually been making a lot in this challenge. I've been doing a lot. I've been finding my voice, and there's high energy moments, there's low energy moments. I still don't optimize for algorithm that clearly. I think my watch time's at like maybe a minute max on any of these videos. And it's weird to think that, wow, no one's actually seen everything that I've put out there. It is still uniquely my own. And that's a very comforting feeling because it still feels like it's just me talking into the void, putting my voice out there. It's like when you have a conversation with someone and they're not going to remember it, but they remember that they had the conversation with you. And if you randomly bring it up at some point, they'll remember maybe what you were talking about. And it's an interesting feeling. It's a nice feeling, I even would say. Well, you have something, right? You have something that's yours, and that unique experience and that little bubble. And I talk about it in a culture video that is currently uploading right now. And I'll talk a little bit more about gratitude. I was actually just roasting my sister today about it. And yeah, it's a nice feeling. But it's getting to that point where you're starting to realize that it's over. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced those friend groups that like to take a lot of pictures to try to capture the moment and, remind themselves that they actually lived and that things were there. Spoilers for Endgame, but like that proof that Tony Stark had a heart. It's those things that, they really just bring together the memories. And it's going to be nice to look back at this challenge and actually see that I made something, like a little portfolio. I have a really small portfolio right now for coding, and every single project that I actually worked from scratch on, so literally not a single one of my machine learning projects, it means so much more for me to be able to look at them and be like, I made that, and I remember typing it out myself and sitting there planning on a whiteboard and then making it come to life off of my UML diagram and working with people within a team. And unfortunately, it's something that I don't feel like I'm experiencing in my research at all. I feel very rebellious in the ways that I've just been relying on the machine, not only because I have no clue what I'm doing, but because I want my teammates to be involved. Like, one of them has been MIA for the past 2 weeks, didn't make the meeting, didn't check in at all. I have no clue what they're working on, and I'm frankly tired of assigning tasks. Like, I didn't do that much work and assigning people work because my teammates haven't been doing much work, and there's only one that has been keeping me accountable. And it is so weird to say that it made me happy that they had so much criticism against me, because at least I knew that somebody was actually looking at what I was putting out and that I wasn't getting grilled for just putting machine generated slop towards our PIs and towards our mentor, because I was pissed that it took like 2-3 weeks. That's like almost a quarter of the program for us to actually get feedback on our work that I did weeks ago. I am the blind leading the blind, and it's terrible. And I'm like, not only is this where I feel like money, very generous money from my family is going, but also because this whole timeline is fucked. And I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm leaning on a machine to tell me what to do. I'm outsourcing my cognition. I am walking in the dark because at the start of this program, didn't even know how to read a research paper. I did one workshop on it at college, and since then I still didn't understand. I lacked the proprietary knowledge to understand things, and now I'm getting closer to it. My gosh, the amount of newsletters that I follow is outrageous, but still, it's just crazy to think about the development that is happening and also lack thereof. And my pettiness towards my teammates isn't really going anywhere, but my inaction is only growing greater. And part of that is because I like group projects because they keep me accountable. I feel like that I'm working for something greater than myself. If it's a selfish project, if it's something like this, I feel like it is all on me to be able to do stuff, and it's that expectation that it is all on me that makes it so much easier to do. But the fact that I feel like I shouldn't be doing it all alone, but I'm doing it all alone and I'm pissed about it, makes it feel so much worse, especially when my interests are not within the scope of my mentor's professional experience. And we have this random guy who is like, wow, this is machine written. I'm like, yes, it's written by a machine. I thought you guys cared that we wrote it in person for the actual paper, not for the proposal. And we're trying. But yes, I have some deep work to do on that later today. And of course, another meeting to mess up my sleep schedule very early in the morning. And yet here I am talking to my screen, ranting. And this has been a genuinely like emotional support experience. I have a great support group, as in my family. I always feel comfortable talking to them. They're great. And also with my friends too. Having a tight-knit circle that I've been able to comfortably express myself in has mattered more to me than having a lot of people that, you know, you give little snippets to or that you just pass the time with. I don't like distracting myself so much as I feel like it is unproductive. It doesn't add meaning to my life. It doesn't make me confront my problems. It just helps me procrastinate and be angry and distract myself from my worries. And I always have benefited from being vulnerable because those critiques that actually are critiques of you and your character, and when things are personal and you care about them and you're passionate, it means so much more. Literally. And then if you just put up this facade and then people critique the facade, it's like, oh yes, you critique my facade that I deliberately put up and I put these flaws in it and everything's in my control and it's calculated. I'm like, that's great. If you're not pushing yourself, you're not growing. And if you know flaws and you purposely have them and you keep that up, I'm like, but why? You know? So I like putting myself in harsh environments, ones that I actually grow in, ones that I can push myself in. And that doesn't not only mean like as a person, like as an individual. I was sitting at work and I was kind of just spacing out while the kids, you know, were slaving away. And I was just thinking about, I'm like, why am I always so busy? Like, why do I choose to fill up my time? And I'm like, it feels like I'm working towards something, that even though I'm kind of just shelling out my time for a paycheck, that even when I space out, I feel like I'm able to think and I'm still getting money for it. And I'm, and you know, I'm optimizing in that way. And that's my downtime, to be away from my phone, to not be expected to be anywhere. Like I just say put busy on my calendar and, you know, I'm just not available, and I can use that excuse to be not available and I can just focus on this one thing in front of me. And it's a nice feeling, which is something which I never really understood. I didn't grow to appreciate until I got more higher paying jobs that were more chaotic, more hands-on, that I was actually on my feet the whole time. I was helping people, I was leading the class. And I go back to that tutoring gig, my first ever job, which opened so many doors for me. And I just, you know, sit there. And I've done it a million times before. I have the page numbers and the answers memorized. I just sit there and space out. And it feels so natural to talk to the kids in a much more easygoing environment, in a much more controlled state. And it's nice. And if you're wondering where I'm going with this, it just comes back to this channel, which it's not been that much time. We're almost coming in on 3 weeks, but I feel like I've grown a lot, as in actually being able to talk in front of the camera. I can watch my gameplay and speak at the same time. I have this routine. I've been making like the check-ins on CSGO, or if I play games with my friends, I'll record some of those snippets. Like I was playing comp, recently got placed, so you're going to see a bunch of Overwatch coming up, and that has been able to be turned into some of these like less formulated ideas. I was worried in the car. I was going to go play pickleball, and I was thinking, I'm running out of things to say, to talk about, or that I felt like that I really wanted to talk about. And I got reminded of my ex that I talked about a lot in that really long video that I made about my past relationships. But it helped me to actually process my thoughts and be like, no, I'm not somebody who is just insatiable for the sake of being insatiable. I'm not somebody who just wants more blindly. And no, I'm here for a deliberate purpose. I'm not just talking because I wanted to get my thoughts out and for it to be over with. Like, I like learning new things. I like conveying my ideas. I like developing the skill of public speaking and that feeling of vulnerability and opening myself up to feedback. And I'm not just here to put out a bunch of ideas into the universe blindly. Like, no, I have structured, even if it is like my rants, my rambles, speaks that I want to put out in the universe. And it's not just about checking boxes and getting everything that I have to say out there. It's like, no, this is a journey. Like, this is my life. I don't know if you have those conversations with people that you from a very long time ago and you haven't seen them for a while, and then you catch up, and then once you catch up about everything in life, it's like, wow, I don't find you very interesting anymore. Like, no, let's make new stories, let's make new memories, let's become people that can grow together. And I'm like, I don't want to just hang out with you like once and then never see you again. Like, no, let's keep hanging out. Let's do new things. Let's develop a skill. And for me, that was playing pickleball with my friends. That's going bowling. One of my friends is learning how to drive still, and we've been giving him tips every time we're in the car together. We go to the gym, we work out, right? Work on ourselves. Sometimes we do a pole day in the backyard, and other times we play basketball. And we want to grow as a group and learn things. And you'll do a study session. Well, all the summer classes are over now. But still, it's just so nice to have things that you feel like actually grow and develop you as a person. And frankly, this is going to be one of my D3 crashouts, but I couldn't tell you why improvement feels so good. Like, it feels so important to me that whatever I do is either fulfilling emotionally or it is physically something that I can improve at. Like, when I sit and do the math tutoring, like, I try to do it independently and not rely on the answer key so much, or I just become really good at doing my job and knowing which things I need the answer key for, which things that I do faster in my head, trying to see how many more pages or how much more material that I can force myself to do, in my head and get better at, because I'm done with math at college, so I'm not going to be doing any more math only classes. So unfortunately, I'm going to get out of touch very soon, but it's good to challenge yourself, and it feels good to feel like you're improving at something. I used to like just play video games and be so scared and not want to play comp at all, and I want to improve very slowly and gradually. Look, no, I need to feel the failure now. I need to compete with people. I need to actually learn from my mistakes, and that's a value that I developed very recently. So I guess to recap, it's coming along. The summer, it's I guess it's more accurate to say it's coming to an end, and I'm still finding my voice. The day 19 said to make another story. I don't think I'm going to, but we'll see as I get through the night and I get closer to the time that I need to actually spend working on the research. And I'm kind of sad that the challenge is going so fast, but I'm happy with what I've made so far. Okay, that's about it for day 19. See y'all later.